Good morning everyone. Today we are discussing about chapter number 3. Our chapter number 3 and the name of this chapter is current electricity. Current electricity. Basically in our previous chapter we are discussing about what is charge and the force produced by this charge, and after that what is electric field, and finally we are discussing about what is potential due to charge, and in some many type of phenomena we are discussing about each type of things. Okay, but we are discussing about a new thing. This thing is current. Actually what is current? Okay, current is what actually if we are using two charge. Okay, there are a conductor, and in this conductor a charge is flow. There are positive charge and there are negative charge. Okay, the negative charges flow like here and the positive charges flow here. Okay, so basically the electric current is what? The electric current is actually the Q equals to Q plus minus Q minus the net charge flow in this conductor per unit time. The net charge flow in this conductor per unit time actually it is equals to current. Okay, the net charge is flow, the net charge doing positive and negative, the net charge is flow in this conductor is basically equals to per unit time. Remember that per unit time is equals to current. Okay, so this is the basic definition of the current. Then we are discussing about the current in a conductor. Okay, current in a conductor. In a conductor, the current, how can current is flow, and what type of current is flow? Basically we know that in a conductor a free electron are available. Okay, and the number of free electron are more than available, so the free electron are the majority charge carrier in this conductor. Okay, and the positive charge is minority charge carrier in this conductor. Okay, like this is a conductor. Okay, and so many free electron in this conductor like this. Okay, so many free electron in this conductor. So this free electron is majority charge conductor, majority charge carrier, sorry, the free electron is majority charge carrier. So in this conductor basically the charge is flow by the electron. So in the conductor the negative charge is flow. So the current in this conductor, so the current in this conductor is due to negative charge. Okay, only in this conductor we are know that the current flow due to negative charge because there are electron are majority charge carrier. But if you discussing about a semiconductor, so in semiconductor the positive and the negative charge carrier are in both are in majority. So in the semiconductor the both charge are flow. The negative charge are flow like electron and the positive charge are flow like holes. Okay, but we are discussing about only for conductor, so we are consider the negative charge are only by electron. Okay, then finally we are discussing about Ohm law. What is Ohm law? Basically the Ohm law is the given by the famous scientist Ohm, and what is the dependency of the Ohm law of this current is actually in a conductor. Actually this is a conductor. Okay, this is a conductor, right? Our topic is Ohm's law. This is a conductor and a current I which flow in this conductor. Okay, current I which flow in this conductor, and the potential of this point is V1 and this point is V2. So and the total potential difference between is V. Okay, so actually Ohm's law statement this: the potential difference between 2 points in a conductor, the current which flow between these 2 points is proportional to the potential. It means the V is proportional to I. Okay, if we remove this proportional sign, we are put a constant, and this constant is R, and R is the basically resistance of a conductor, because in this conductor this is a metal surface. Okay, so a metal surface are not easy to flow the charge. Okay, it produces some resistance for the charge, so this resistance is equals to basically R barabar equals to V upon I. Okay, R equals to V upon I. This is the basic formula of the Ohm's law, but the R is depend on the material. R is depend on the material of the conductor, also size, material of the conductor and size. Okay, how R is depend on the material of the conductor and size? So I prove this statement. I am taking two conductor like this. Okay, first and second, they are same material. Okay, so due to they both are in series, so current I is flow also in this and current I is flow also in this, but this slab have potential difference V and this slab also have potential difference V. Okay, so we know that R is equals to V upon I, and there we are considering from this point A to this point B, the total potential is what? Total potential is what? 2V upon I. So if this is R dash and we compare to this R, so we are getting this is equals to 2R. Basically, if you increase the length of the conductor, then the resistance are also increased. So we are saying that R is proportional to L. Okay, this is the dependency of resistance on the length of a conductor. After that, if we are taking two slabs like this, first is like this and the second is like this. Okay, the potential of the both slab are V, because the potential difference of A to B is V. Okay, but the current is basically I by 2 and I by 2. Okay, like this, because this slab are parallel, so current are divided into two parts. Okay, but potential are same both slabs. In this case, we are using this formula: R is equals to V upon I, and V upon I is equals to basically I by 2. Okay, then we are getting also 2R. So in this case, we know that if area is if we increasing the area, then we are getting this inversely proportional. R is inversely proportional to A. Okay, so if we are combine this both, formulas, we are getting R is proportional to L by A. Okay, but if we remove the sign of proportional, we are put a constant here, and this constant is rho, and rho is basically resistivity. Okay, rho is what? Resistivity. Rho is resistivity, and it is depend on the material of the conductor. Depend on the material of the conductor. Okay, so basically using this statement, R is depend on the material. Okay, so rho is depend on the material, so R is also on the depend on the material and the size of the conductor. L and A is the basically size of the conductor. So this statement is proved that R is depend on also material and also size of the conductor. So this is another formula of the find the resistance, and R is what? R is basically resistance. R is basically resistance. Okay, this is another formula of find out the resistance of the of a conductor. If we are using this formula and we find out the some other things, so if we put this formula equals to in this formula V equals to IR, okay, then what happen? Using V equals to IR, okay, we know that R equals to rho L by A. Okay, this is the simple formula, no any issue. We know that in the previous chapter we are discussing about V, the relation between the electric field E. This is E dot L, and this is I rho L by A. In both formula, L and L are cancel out, so we are getting E equals to I rho by A. Okay, we are introduce the new property from here. Actually, J equals to I by A, and J is equals to current density. J is equals to current density. Basically, the current per unit area, the current flow in the per unit area, it is basically the current density. So in this formula we are putting here, then we are getting E equals to J rho. Okay, this is the relation between the electric field and the current density with constant resistivity of a conductor. Okay, if we convert this formula, so we are introducing another property. This is conductivity. Conductivity is actually sigma, and this is the inversely proportional of resistivity, but because conductivity is help to flow the current and resistivity is opposed to flow of current. Okay, so both are is inversely proportional. If we put this sigma from here, so we are getting E equals to J by sigma, and J equals to sigma E. We are getting J equals to sigma E. This is the another formula of relation between conductivity, current density, and the electric field flow in a conductor. Okay, so these are basically the formula are using in this Ohm's law. Okay, and then we are discussing about the drift in a conductor. What is drift in a conductor, and what is drift? Why you are using this name of drift? Drift in a conductor. Basically, if we are taking a conductor like this, this is a conductor slab, and this is the area of this conductor slab, this area, okay, and the electric field direction is like this. This is the direction of electric field. Actually, the electron is flow in the opposite of the opposite of the current direction. So the electron's direction is like this, because current is flow forward, then electron is flow backward. Okay, the flow of the electron is basically the reverse of the flow of the current. Okay, and if the electron are flow with some velocity v, okay, so the this distance basically delta x is equals to v d delta t. Okay, why we are using this d? We are introducing this derivation. Okay, so actually if the electron are flow in this conductor with a acceleration a, then this acceleration a is equals to minus e by m. Actually this formula is come from here. We know that F is equals to what? F is equals to QE. Okay, F is equals to QE, and we know that there Q is equals to what? There Q is equals to electron, F बराबर minus EE, and we know that F equals to MA. So this is minus equals to minus EE, and A is getting minus EE by M. Okay, so this is formula come from here, no problem. After that, if we are using the initial velocity, sorry, the velocity of this electrons are actually the we are using the formula v बराबर u plus at. This is the equation of motion. Okay, if we are using this formula, then we are getting the v is the velocity of electron and vi is the initial velocity, and the acceleration is this minus e by m into t. Okay, then we are using the, because there are not only one electron, there are only more than one electron, so we are using the average velocity. Okay, we are using what? We are using average velocity, and vi average minus e upon m. This is t average. Okay, basically in a conductor the electrons are moving random motion, so the initially v average, initially when then electric field is not produced in this conductor, then the electrons motion are random motion and they are cancel out each velocity. Okay, so we are considering about the v initial is 0, and the v average is basically the vd is drift velocity is equals to minus e m, and the t average of the all electron are basically is equals to tau. We are denoted t average like tau. Okay, so the drift velocity is equals to minus e by m into tau. This is the basic formula of drift velocity, and remember that this drift velocity is not depend on time, it is depend on the average time, and the average time is what? Average time is tau. Okay, so this is the velocity, this is the drift velocity of a conductor. If we are using this formula in another form, then in this conductor what type of total charge is flowing? If we find out the total charge in this conductor, so we are using the total charge in this conductor delta q is equals to, actually we are suppose that there are n number of electron. Okay, so n, and e is the electron of each and every electron, e is the charge on the each and every electron, and the volume of this complete surface is actually delta x into delta a. Okay, yeah, you are considering only a, delta x into a. So we are know that the value of the delta x is basically vd delta t a. We are put the value of drift velocity here to here, then we are getting an E. We are the using not a negative sign, we take the mode of E. Okay, E and E, mode of E, it is basically convert into in the positive sign into m delta t A. If we simplify this, we are getting an E square A E by m into delta t, and this is basically what? This is basically delta q. This is the total charge flow in this conductor is basically equals to like this. Okay, and if we convert it into delta q equals to, we know that I delta t, so we are using this formula here, and we are getting a other formula. Okay, delta t and delta t is equals to cancel out, so the total current flow in this conductor is basically an E square A E by m. Okay, this is the another formula to find out the current in this conductor. If we are having these property, then we easily find out the current. Okay, then if we find out the current of this formula, we are also find out if we put this A in the denominator of this A I, then we are getting a current density, because we know that I upon A is equals to current density, and the value of the current density is n E square E by m. So this is basically what? This is J equals to n E square E by m. This is the another relation for find out the current density. Current density is equals to what? N E square, capital E is the electric field upon m. If we find out the relation of resistivity and conductivity in this form, so we know that J बराबर sigma E. Okay, so we put the value of J बराबर sigma E is here, then sigma E is equals to n E square E by m, and E and this E is cancel out, then we are getting sigma equals to n E square by m. This is the conductivity of the conductor. And if we want to find out the resistivity, because we know that rho is equals to 1 upon sigma, so rho is equals to basically m upon n E square. And I think we miss something. Actually yes, we are miss, actually in this formula we are miss tau, because Vd equals to EM by into tau, so they are miss tau. So this is also multiplied by tau, and this is also multiplied by tau, this is also multiplied by tau, and in this formula this is also multiplied by tau, this is also multiplied by tau, and this is also multiplied by tau. Okay, so this is our silly mistake I am doing for putting the value of the Vd, and this is the relation of the drift in a current. Okay, we are getting current. What is current flow in this conductor? This is current density in this conductor, this is conductivity, and this is resistivity of this conductor. Okay, then we are discussing about what is the mobility. Actually, mobility is also a property of a conductor. When a current flow in this conductor with a drift velocity Vd, then what is the mobility? Mobility is what? Mobility is basically we are denoted by mu, and mobility is equals to Vd upon E. Mobility is basically drift velocity per unit electric field is equals to mobility. The drift velocity per unit electric field is equals to mobility, and the SI unit of mobility is SI unit of mobility is basically meter square this is of meter square volt into second. Okay, this is the we find out this unit. Okay, the SI unit of mobility using this formula. If we are put the value of the VD is equals to E tau by m. Okay, and if we put this value of the E here, then we are getting the value of the mobility is mu equals to E tau by m. Okay, this is the new formula of the mobility. We are find out using E tau by m. Okay, in this case the mu is not depend on the E basically because E is the cancel out. Okay, so this is the very useful formula of the mobility, and this is the unit of the mobility. In this chapter basically we are forget the introduce the SI unit of many things. So we introduce the SI unit of current density. In current density, actually we know that this is equals to I by A. So the unit of I is ampere and A is the surface area, and surface area unit is meter square. Okay, so this is the SI unit of what? This is the SI unit of current density. Okay, and this is the SI unit of mobility. Also we are forgot the resistance. Basically resistance is what? The resistance is R equals to V upon I, and V is in volt and I is in ampere, and we also denoted by this ohm with respect for the ohm, the scientist ohm, and the symbol of the ohm is like this. Okay, this is also a SI unit of the resistance. Then this is basically the SI units of the different quantity. Okay, we are using in this chapter. Then we are discussing about what is the limitation of Ohm law. Basically the Ohm law V is proportional I is not for all conductive material and all type of material in this world. Okay, so this is basically have some exception. So the limitation of Ohm law, limitation of Ohm's law. Actually the first limitation of Ohm law is, if we know that we are using in Ohm law V is proportional to I. Okay, but in each and every case V is exactly not proportional to I. If you are using a metal, okay, if you are using a metal, so if you plot the graph of the V and I of a metal, sorry, there are V in volt, this is I, you are getting like this type of graph. Okay, but we are considering this type of graph. So this is the basic difference between we are considering like this, but the actual graph is like this. Okay, first is this. Second, if we are using a diode, so in a diode, actually in a diode the flow of current is depend on the the value of the voltage depend on the value of the current. If current is negative, then the value of the voltage is different, and the current value sign is negative, then it get the value of the different value of the voltage. Okay, like this, this is I and this is V. If in this case we are getting if the current value is positive, then the graph of the V and I are similarly like this, but if the current value is negative, this is the phenomena of the current and V is change. At some value, the value of the voltage is very low, but taking a value, actually the voltage value is increased simultaneously. Okay, very the flow of the voltage of the increasing is very high. So this is the not actually V is proportional to I. So this is the second exception of Ohm's law. Third, if we are using gallium gallium arsenic is a semiconductor, okay, and if we plot a graph between I and V, and in this case I is a milliampere, okay, if we get the I and V, we are getting this type of graph. In this graph we are seeing that a value of current, we are getting two value of voltage, okay. This is value of the current I, and we are getting two value of voltage V1 and V2. Similarly, like that, if you are getting this value of current, you are getting also two value of voltage. This is V3 and V4. This is V1 and this is I1 and I2. In this case, gallium arsenic is a semiconductor. You are seeing in this graph the one value of I, you are getting two value of voltage. So this is not exactly V is proportional to I. So this is the third exception of the third exception of the Ohm law. Okay, so this is the limitation of the Ohm law. After in this chapter we are discussing about the resistivity of different material, and after that we are getting the relation of the different relation of the resistance in a series and parallel combination, and after that we are discussing about some application of the resistance, the application of like this Hifstone bridge and meter bridge. So in this chapter we are discussing about many of these things, but today our lecture is finished only from here. We are discussing about this other topics in this chapter in next lecture. So if you like this lecture, please like, share and subscribe, and we are improved to how can you understand to this chapter. Okay, thank you so much.